She slammed her hand on the Thanksgiving table, plates rattling, and shouted over the murmurs. "You'll never find proof of anything, Caleb. You're paranoid and embarrassing yourself in front of everyone." My parents, my sister, her brother, even our aunt from out of town. All 12 of us went completely still. Gravy cooled. The kids stopped whispering. Her eyes dared me to keep going. So I reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out my phone, and turned the screen toward the table. "My name is Caleb. I'm 35, a civil engineer working on infrastructure projects around Charlotte, North Carolina." The humid summers and sudden afternoon storms matched the way tension used to build in our house. Brooke and I had been together 9 years, married for 6. We met through mutual friends at a rooftop bar downtown the night the Panthers won a playoff game. She was a marketing coordinator back then, quick with a laugh, always planning the next adventure. We bought a small brick ranch in the Dilworth neighborhood, painted the kitchen yellow because she said it felt like sunshine, and talked openly about starting a family once her career stabilized. The shift happened gradually. She started staying late at client dinners. Weekends turned into girls' trips that left me home with the dog. Our conversation shrank to logistics: who was picking up groceries, whose turn to call the plumber. Bedroom doors stayed closed more often than open. I tried talking about it. She'd sigh, say work was intense, promise things would slow down after the next campaign launch. I wanted to believe her. I loved her. So I waited. Doubt crept in anyway. Little things stacked up. A new passcode on her phone, perfume I didn't recognize, a second Apple Watch charger in her car when she only owned one watch. The week before Thanksgiving, I'd come home early from a site visit and noticed her laptop open on the kitchen island. An iMessage preview glowed on the lock screen. "Can't wait for Friday night. Miss you already. Jay." My stomach nodded. I didn't touch the computer. Instead, I took a photo of the screen with my phone and closed the lid exactly as I'd found it. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice from months earlier when I gently asked if everything was okay. "You're imagining things, Caleb." I would never. So I did what I'd never done before. I requested her phone records through our family plan, something I had access to as the account holder. The statements arrived by email 2 days later. Hundreds of texts and late-night calls to a number not saved in her contacts. I cross-referenced it online. The number belonged to Julian Hayes, a creative director at the agency where she'd been spending all those extra hours. Thanksgiving was at our house that year. Brooke had insisted on hosting, said it would be good for us. I almost canceled, but my mom begged to see everyone together. So I cooked the turkey, set the table, smiled through small talk. Inside, I carried the records folded in my pocket like a loaded gun I didn't want to fire. The blow-up started innocently enough. My sister asked when we were planning kids. Brooke laughed it off, said we were enjoying our freedom. I quietly mentioned maybe it was time to talk seriously about timing. Brooke's face tightened. She accused me of pressuring her in front of family. I said I just wanted honesty. That's when she stood up, voice rising, and delivered her line. "You'll never find proof of anything." The room held its breath. I looked at her across the candles and cranberry sauce and felt the last thread of hope snap. I unlocked my phone, opened the PDF of the phone records, and placed it face up in the center of the table. "Here's the last 6 months," I said, voice steady. "Every call, every text." The number highlighted in yellow belongs to Julian Hayes. You'll see patterns. Late nights when you told me you were at the office, entire weekends when you were supposedly in Raleigh for a conference. I turned to the second page. I also have the hotel charge from the Westin downtown on October 12th, the night you said your flight home got canceled. Brooke stared at the pages. Her mouth opened but nothing came out. My mom's eyes filled with tears. Her brother looked away. I kept going calm. "You told me I was paranoid. You told everyone here I was embarrassing myself. So I figured they should see what I've been carrying alone." No one touched their pie. Brooke finally whispered, "Can we talk privately?" I shook my head. "You made this public when you shouted it across the table. The truth gets the same stage." My dad cleared his throat and suggested we all give them space. Chairs scraped. Coats were gathered. Hugs felt heavy. Within 20 minutes the house was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. Brooke packed a bag that night and went to her sister's. I slept on the couch with the dog curled against me. The days after were a blur of canceled plans and long walks around Freedom Park. I felt untethered, like the future I'd pictured had been built on sand. But somewhere in the emptiness came a clear thought. I wasn't the one who needed to shrink anymore. We separated quietly. No screaming matches, no social media war. I kept the house. She moved into an apartment uptown. Therapy taught me the difference between loyalty and self-erasure. Friends who'd witnessed that dinner checked in often. Some relationships cooled, hers mostly. Mine deepened. A year later I'm still in the yellow kitchen, though I repainted it a soft gray. I coach my nephew's soccer team on Saturdays. I date when it feels right, slowly, without timelines. Brooke reached out once 6 months ago asking to meet for coffee. I agreed. She apologized for the way it ended, for the lies. I listened, nodded, wished her well. Then I left. What stays with me is this. When someone dares you to find proof, they're usually betting on your silence. Speaking the truth in the moment it's demanded, even when your voice shakes, isn't drama. It's the beginning of reclaiming your life. The people who love you won't fault you for refusing to carry shame that isn't yours. And the peace that follows isn't loud. It's just the quiet sound of a table finally cleared of everything except what's real.